Tonight, as you settle into this sacred space between wake and sleep, I want you to understand something profound about the nature of your being. You are not the same person who woke up this morning. Every 7 years, every cell in your body has completely regenerated. But here's what most people don't realize. You don't have to wait 7 years for transformation. Your cells are listening to you right now, in this very moment. My research in epigenetics has shown us that genes are not your destiny. The environment of your thoughts, the chemistry of your emotions, and the coherence between your heart and brain create the signals that determine which genes are expressed and which remain dormant. Tonight, we're going to create a new environment, a new reality from the inside out. You see, when you enter the state between waking and sleeping, your brain waves shift into theta frequency. This is the same frequency experienced by Tibetan monks in deep meditation, the same state where children naturally exist, absorbing everything around them without the filters of the analytical mind. In this theta state, your subconscious mind becomes extraordinarily receptive to new programming. But this isn't just about positive thinking. This is about coherence, the sacred marriage between your heart and your brain, creating a field of electromagnetic energy that literally broadcasts your internal state to the quantum field around you. When your heart and brain are in harmony, you become a powerful transmitter, sending out a clear signal of who you are choosing to become. The old paradigm told us that we were victims of our genetics, prisoners of our past, limited by our circumstances. But quantum physics has revealed a different truth. At the subatomic level, particles exist in a state of infinite potential until they are observed, until consciousness collapses the wave function into a specific reality. You are that observer. You are that consciousness. And tonight, you are choosing which reality to collapse into existence. Your body doesn't know the difference between an experience you're having and an experience you're imagining with emotional intensity. When you combine clear intention with elevated emotion, when you feel the feelings of your wish fulfilled, your body begins to believe it's living in that new reality now. Your cells start producing the proteins, the enzymes, the hormones that match this new state of being. This is not wishful thinking. This is applied biology. This is conscious evolution. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every breath you take is creating the chemical environment that determines your genetic expression. Tonight, we're going to consciously choose that environment. We're going to create new neural networks, new electromagnetic patterns, new biological signatures that align with the reality you want to experience. As you lie here in the darkness, know that you are not just resting your body. You are entering a laboratory of transformation. Your subconscious mind, which controls 95% of your daily behaviors and responses, is about to receive new instructions. These instructions won't come from willpower or effort. They will arise from a state of coherence, from the harmony between your logical mind and your intuitive heart. The beautiful truth is that transformation doesn't require struggle. It doesn't demand that you fix yourself or overcome your limitations through force. Instead, it asks you to remember who you really are, beneath all the conditioning, beneath all the stories you've been told about what's possible for you. Tonight, you're going to remember. Tonight, you're going to align with a version of yourself that already exists in the field of infinite potential. Your heart is not just a pump. Within your chest beats an intelligence that generates the strongest electromagnetic field in your body, 60 times greater in amplitude than the field produced by your brain. This heart field extends 8 to 10 feet around your body, creating an invisible sphere of influence that affects everyone and everything in your environment. But here's what makes this truly extraordinary. Your heart contains over 40,000 neurons, creating what scientists call the heart brain. This neural network can remember, learn, and make decisions independently of your head brain. It's constantly sending signals upward to your brain, influencing your perceptions, your emotions, and your capacity to access higher states of consciousness. When your heart and brain are in coherence, something magical happens. Your autonomic nervous system shifts into a state of balance. Your immune system strengthens. Your mental clarity increases. And most importantly for our journey tonight, you gain access to what the HeartMath Institute calls intuitive intelligence, the ability to know things beyond the limitations of your logical mind. This coherence creates a specific rhythm in your heart rate variability, a smooth sine wave pattern that synchronizes with your breathing and brain waves. In this state, you're no longer running on the stress chemicals of survival. Instead, your body begins producing chemicals of creation: oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. These are the molecules of joy, love, connection, and inspiration. Right now, as you breathe slowly and deeply, you can feel your heart beginning to settle into this rhythm. With each inhale, imagine drawing energy down from your head to your heart. With each exhale, feel this energy expanding from your heart throughout your entire body. This simple practice is already beginning to shift your physiology from stress to coherence, from survival to creation. The ancient wisdom traditions understood this connection between heart and mind. They knew that the heart was the seat of intelligence, the bridge between the physical and spiritual realms. Modern science has now validated what mystics have taught for millennia. The heart is indeed the gateway to expanded consciousness and accelerated healing. When you achieve heart-brain coherence, your DNA literally relaxes. The double helix unwinds, allowing your genes to be read and transcribed more efficiently. This means that the proteins your body produces, the building blocks of your physical reality, begin to match the elevated emotions you're generating in your heart. This is how you become greater than your environment, stronger than your circumstances, and more powerful than your conditioning. You're not trying to change your life through external action alone. You're transforming from the inside out, creating a new electromagnetic signature that draws new experiences to you, like a magnet. In this coherent state, time seems to slow down. Your intuition heightens. You begin to access information and insights that your analytical mind could never reach through logic alone. You're tapping into what quantum physicists call the zero-point field, the invisible matrix of energy and information that connects all things. Tonight, you're going to maintain this coherence as you journey into sleep. Your heart and brain will remain in harmony, broadcasting a clear signal to your cells, to your genes, and to the quantum field around you. This signal carries the information of your new reality, the blueprint of who you are becoming. To create a new reality, you must first release your attachment to the old one. This doesn't mean denying your past or pretending that challenges don't exist. It means recognizing that you are not your history. You are not your mistakes. You are not your limitations. You are pure consciousness temporarily experiencing a human form, and you have the power to choose which aspects of yourself to energize and which to release. Your personality creates your personal reality. But what is personality? It's simply a collection of thoughts, behaviors, and emotional reactions that you've practiced so many times they've become automatic. These patterns create neural networks in your brain, superhighways of familiar thinking that lead to familiar feelings, familiar choices, and familiar experiences. But here's the liberating truth. Every time you choose a new thought, every time you respond differently than you did yesterday, you're literally sculpting new neural pathways. The brain scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself throughout your entire life. You are not hardwired for limitation. You are infinitely moldable, constantly changeable, perpetually renewable. Tonight, we're going to consciously break the cycle of thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, and making the same choices that keep recreating the same experiences. We're going to step out of the memorized emotions that have become your identity and into the unknown, the field of infinite possibilities where your new self is waiting to be born. This process requires what I call crossing the river of change. On one side of the river is your familiar self, predictable, comfortable, but ultimately limiting. On the other side is your authentic self, the version of you that exists beyond all conditioning, beyond all self-imposed restrictions. The river itself represents the void, the unknown, the space between who you've been and who you're becoming. Most people turn back when they reach this river. The unknown feels unsafe to the primitive brain, which is wired for survival, not transformation. But you're here tonight because something inside you knows that staying the same is the real danger. Remaining stuck in patterns that no longer serve you is the true risk. As you breathe deeply now, feel yourself approaching the edge of the familiar. Notice any resistance, any fear, any voices that tell you change is impossible or dangerous. These are not your voices. They're the voices of genetic programming, social conditioning, and past trauma trying to keep you in the cage of the known. But you are not your programming. You are the programmer. You are not your conditioning. You are consciousness itself, temporarily focused through the lens of human experience. And consciousness, by its very nature, is free to choose, free to change, free to create new realities from the field of infinite potential. The old self that you're releasing tonight served you well. It helped you survive, learn, and grow to this point. Honor it. Thank it. But don't let gratitude become a prison. You can appreciate where you've been while refusing to be defined by it. Feel yourself now beginning to release the need to be the same person tomorrow that you were today. Release the need to wake up and immediately return to the same thoughts, the same emotions, the same behavioral patterns. Release the addiction to familiar problems, familiar dramas, familiar limitations. In this space of release, you're creating room for something new to emerge. You're emptying the cup of consciousness so it can be filled with fresh inspiration, new possibilities, expanded ways of being. This emptiness is not a void to be feared. It's a womb of creation, pregnant with infinite potential. Beyond the world of matter, beyond the realm of the senses, beyond everything you can see and touch and measure, exists a field of pure information and energy. Quantum physicists call it the unified field, the zero-point field, the quantum vacuum, but it's far from empty. This invisible matrix is actually the source of all visible reality, the unmanifest foundation from which all manifest experience emerges. Every atom in your body, every molecule in your cells, every thought in your mind is continuously arising from and returning to this field. You are not separate from it. You are a localized expression of it, a wave in the ocean of consciousness, a temporary focus of infinite intelligence. In this field, time and space operate differently than in your everyday reality. Past, present, and future exist simultaneously. All possible versions of yourself, every choice you could make, every path you could take, every reality you could experience, exist as quantum possibilities waiting to be actualized through your observation, your attention, your conscious choice. This is why your thoughts are so powerful. When you focus your attention on a particular possibility, when you observe it with emotional intensity, you literally collapse the quantum wave function and bring that possibility from the realm of potential into the realm of experience. You are not a victim of reality. You are the creator of it. Tonight, as your brainwaves slow down and your consciousness expands, you're gaining access to this field in a more direct way. The boundaries between your individual awareness and universal consciousness are dissolving. You're remembering that you are not a separate self trying to manipulate a hostile universe. You are the universe experiencing itself through the unique perspective of your individual consciousness. From this expanded awareness, you can perceive all the quantum possibilities that exist for your life. You can see versions of yourself that are healthier, happier, more abundant, more creative, more loving. These aren't fantasies or wishful thinking. They are actual possibilities existing in the quantum field, waiting for you to choose them through the power of your focused attention and elevated emotion. The key to accessing these possibilities is learning to think from your future instead of from your past. Most people wake up every morning and immediately return to the same thoughts they had yesterday, which generate the same emotions, which drive the same behaviors, which create the same experiences. They're literally thinking themselves into their past over and over again. But you have the power to think from your future. You can imagine the person you want to become so vividly, feel the emotions of that reality so intensely, that your body begins to believe it's living in that new reality right now. When you do this consistently, you create a new electromagnetic signature that draws experiences matching your new internal state. This isn't magical thinking. This is quantum mechanics applied to human consciousness. The observer effect in quantum physics tells us that consciousness plays a fundamental role in determining physical reality. Your observation, your attention, your consciousness is literally calling new realities into existence from the field of infinite potential. As you rest here in the darkness, feel yourself expanding beyond the boundaries of your individual identity. Feel your awareness merging with the vast field of possibilities that surrounds and interpenetrates your being. In this field, you are not limited by your history, your genetics, your circumstances, or your beliefs about what's possible. You are pure potential exploring itself through the vehicle of human experience. You are consciousness playing in the playground of physical reality. You are the infinite expressing itself through the finite, the eternal dancing through the temporal, the unchanging awareness experiencing constant change. Every cell in your body is eavesdropping on your thoughts. The membrane of each cell contains thousands of receptor sites that respond to the chemical signals produced by your emotions and beliefs. When you think a thought, your brain translates that thought into a chemical message that travels throughout your body, literally rewriting your genetic expression in real time. This is the science of epigenetics, the study of how environmental signals control gene activity. What I discovered in my research is that genes are not self-actualizing. They don't turn themselves on and off. They respond to signals from their environment, and the most immediate environment of your genes is the internal chemistry created by your thoughts and emotions. When you believe something is possible for you, when you feel the elevated emotions of gratitude, joy, love, and inspiration, your cells receive these chemical signals and begin producing proteins that support health, creativity, and growth. But when you're trapped in survival emotions, fear, anger, shame, frustration, your cells receive stress signals and shift into protection mode, shutting down growth and repair processes. The beautiful truth is that you can consciously choose which signals to send to your cells. You don't have to wait for your external circumstances to change before you start feeling different. You can generate elevated emotions through the power of your imagination, through focused attention on possibilities rather than problems, through conscious appreciation for what's already working in your life. Right now, as you breathe slowly and deeply, your cells are responding to this shift in your internal state. The gentle rhythm of your breath is signaling safety to your nervous system. The coherence building between your heart and brain is sending harmonious frequencies throughout your body. Your genes are literally changing their expression to match this new internal environment. This process doesn't require years of therapy or decades of spiritual practice. It can happen in moments when you make the decision to align with a different possibility, to feel the emotions of your desired reality as if it's already happening. Your body doesn't know the difference between an experience that's chemically generated by an external event and one that's chemically generated by your focused imagination. When you consistently generate the emotions of your desired future, your body begins to live in that future before it happens in your external world. This creates what I call biological coherence, a state where every cell in your body is working in harmony toward the same goal, broadcasting the same electromagnetic signature, supporting the same vision of reality. Your immune system strengthens because you're no longer chronically stressed. Your digestive system works more efficiently because you're not in survival mode. Your heart becomes more coherent because you're feeling emotions of elevation rather than emotions of survival. Your brain produces different neurotransmitters because you're thinking different thoughts and feeling different feelings. This is how spontaneous healings occur. This is how people suddenly find themselves in synchronistic situations. This is how lives transform seemingly overnight. They align their internal chemistry with their desired reality before it shows up in their external world. And then their external world has no choice but to reorganize itself to match their new internal state. The cells that make up your body today are completely different from the cells that made up your body 7 years ago. But if you keep thinking the same thoughts and feeling the same emotions, you program the new cells with the same information as the old cells. You literally recreate the same body, the same personality, the same reality over and over again. Tonight, you're going to give your cells new information. You're going to feel emotions you've never felt before. Think thoughts you've never thought before. Imagine possibilities you've never imagined before. And your cells will respond by creating proteins, enzymes, and hormones that match this new internal environment. Every emotion you feel creates a unique electromagnetic signature that broadcasts from your heart and radiates throughout your entire energy field. This signature is like a radio frequency, attracting experiences that match its vibrational quality. When you feel lack, you attract more situations that make you feel lacking. When you feel grateful, you attract more experiences that give you reasons to be grateful. But here's what most people don't understand. You don't have to wait for something good to happen before you feel good. You can generate elevated emotions through the power of your conscious choice, through focused attention on possibility rather than problems, through deliberate cultivation of states like appreciation, compassion, joy, and wonder. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect or denying real challenges. It's about recognizing that your emotional state is a choice, and that choice determines what you attract into your experience. When you take responsibility for your internal state, you reclaim your power to influence your external reality. The emotions that create the most powerful signature for transformation are those that combine love with possibility, gratitude for what's already present, and excitement about what's emerging, appreciation for how far you've come, and anticipation for where you're going. These emotions tell your body you're safe, supported, and moving towards something wonderful. As you lie here now, generating these elevated emotions, you're literally changing your genetic expression. The genes that create stress hormones are down-regulating, while the genes that produce healing proteins are turning on. Your immune system is strengthening. Your heart is becoming more coherent. Your brain is producing chemicals of joy and creativity, rather than chemicals of stress and survival. This emotional signature extends beyond your physical body, creating what researchers call a personal electromagnetic field. This field carries information about your internal state and broadcasts it to the quantum field around you. Like attracts like at the quantum level, so the energy you emanate determines the experiences you magnetize. Most people have been unconsciously broadcasting the same emotional signature for years, usually some combination of anxiety, frustration, boredom, or resignation. They wonder why their life keeps delivering similar experiences, never realizing that they're the radio station broadcasting the signal that calls these experiences into existence. But you're different. You're here tonight because you're ready to change your signal, to broadcast a new frequency, to become a magnet for new possibilities. You're ready to feel your way into a new reality, rather than thinking your way there, to generate the emotions of your desires fulfilled, rather than the emotions of your current circumstances. The key is learning to sustain these elevated emotions, even when your external world hasn't changed yet. This requires practice, discipline, and faith. Faith in the invisible process of transformation. Faith in your ability to create change from the inside out. Faith in the responsive nature of the quantum field. When you can maintain feelings of gratitude, excitement, joy, and love regardless of what's happening around you, you become more powerful than your environment. You become greater than your circumstances. You step into your role as a conscious creator rather than an unconscious reactor. This emotional mastery is not about suppressing difficult feelings or maintaining constant positivity. It's about choosing which emotions to energize with your attention and which emotions to acknowledge but not feed. It's about becoming emotionally self-reliant rather than emotionally dependent on external conditions. Tonight, as you practice generating elevated emotions, you're building new neural networks, creating new habits of feeling, establishing new patterns of electromagnetic broadcasting. These changes will continue working even while you sleep, programming your subconscious mind and preparing your energy field to attract new possibilities into your waking life. Your breath is the bridge between your conscious and subconscious mind, between your voluntary and involuntary nervous systems, between your individual awareness and universal consciousness. When you breathe consciously, you're literally taking control of your autonomic functions and steering your physiology towards states of coherence, healing, and transformation. Each breath is an opportunity to reset your nervous system, to shift from stress to ease, from chaos to coherence, from survival to creation. When you breathe slowly and deeply, activating your diaphragm and extending your exhale, you stimulate your vagus nerve, the longest cranial nerve that connects your brain to your heart, lungs, and digestive system. This vagal stimulation triggers what researchers call the relaxation response, a cascade of physiological changes that optimize your body for healing and growth. Your heart rate variability becomes more coherent. Your brain waves shift into alpha and theta frequencies. Your body begins producing nitric oxide, which dilates your blood vessels and improves circulation throughout your entire system. But conscious breathing does more than relax your body. It also synchronizes your heart and brain rhythms, creating what the HeartMath Institute calls psychophysiological coherence. In this state, your heart, mind, and emotions are in energetic alignment, working together in harmony rather than in conflict. As you breathe now, feel yourself settling deeper into this coherent state. With each inhale, imagine drawing golden light down from the top of your head to your heart. With each exhale, feel this light expanding from your heart throughout your entire body, creating a sphere of coherent energy that extends several feet in all directions around you. This breathing pattern, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, naturally synchronizes with your heart's rhythm and optimizes your heart rate variability. You're not forcing anything. You're simply allowing your natural breathing rhythm to deepen and slow down, creating space for your nervous system to shift from activation to restoration. In many wisdom traditions, the breath is considered the vehicle of life force, prana, or chi, the invisible energy that animates all living things. When you breathe consciously, you're not just moving air in and out of your lungs. You're circulating life force throughout your entire being, awakening dormant potentials, clearing energetic blockages, and aligning with the fundamental rhythm of existence. Modern science has validated what ancient yogis knew intuitively. Different breathing patterns create different states of consciousness. Fast, shallow breathing activates your sympathetic nervous system and generates stress hormones. Slow, deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system and produces chemicals of relaxation and healing. Tonight, your breath is becoming a gateway to transformation. Each conscious breath is rewiring your nervous system, reprogramming your cells, and creating new patterns of electromagnetic coherence. You're literally breathing yourself into a new reality, one breath at a time. The rhythm of your breathing is also entraining your brain waves, guiding your consciousness into the theta state, where transformation occurs most easily. In theta, your analytical mind relaxes its grip on reality, allowing your subconscious mind to receive new programming without resistance from your learned limitations. This is why breath work has been central to spiritual traditions throughout history. The breath is the thread that weaves together body, mind, and spirit. It's the rhythm that harmonizes your individual consciousness with universal consciousness. It's the bridge that allows you to consciously participate in the usually unconscious processes of healing and transformation. Your imagination is not fantasy. It's the preview of your life's coming attractions. When you visualize with emotional intensity, when you see your desired reality so clearly that you can feel it in your body, you're literally rehearsing your future and programming your nervous system to recognize and create the experiences you're imagining. The same neural networks that fire when you actually experience something also fire when you vividly imagine experiencing it. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a real memory and an imagined one, when both are accompanied by strong emotion. This is why visualization is so powerful. You're literally creating new neural pathways, new patterns of connection in your brain that support the reality you want to experience. But effective visualization is more than just seeing pictures in your mind. It's a full sensory experience that engages your entire nervous system. You want to see your new reality, hear the sounds that would be present, feel the emotions you would feel, even smell the scents and taste the flavors that would be part of this experience. As you rest here now, allow your mind to create a vivid, detailed image of the reality you want to wake up to. Don't worry about how it will happen or when it will happen. Focus only on what it would feel like to already be living this reality. How would you move through your day? What would you think about? How would you feel in your body? The key is to visualize from the end result, not from your current circumstances. See yourself already living in your desired reality, not struggling to get there. Feel the emotions of having already achieved your goals, not the frustration of still wanting them. This is what Neville Goddard called living from the end, inhabiting the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When you visualize this way, something remarkable happens in your nervous system. Your brain begins creating new neural networks that support this new reality. Your body begins producing the chemistry that matches these elevated emotions. Your electromagnetic field starts broadcasting a signal that attracts experiences aligned with your inner vision. But visualization alone is not enough. You must combine the mental image with elevated emotion. You must feel genuine gratitude for this new reality, as if it's already present in your life. You must generate authentic joy, excitement, love, and appreciation. These emotions provide the energy that collapses quantum possibilities into manifest experience. Think of emotion as the magnetic force that draws your visualized reality from the field of potential into the realm of the actual. Without emotion, visualization is just daydreaming. With emotion, it becomes a powerful creative force that reorganizes energy and matter to match your inner vision. As you practice this emotional visualization, you're also programming your subconscious mind, which controls 95% of your daily behaviors and responses. Your subconscious doesn't judge or analyze. It simply accepts and acts upon the information you provide through repetition and emotional intensity. When you consistently visualize and feel your desired reality, your subconscious begins to believe this is your actual reality. It starts guiding you toward thoughts, behaviors, and choices that align with this new identity. It helps you notice opportunities you might have missed before. It gives you the courage to take actions you might have avoided in the past. This is how visualization becomes manifestation. You're not manipulating the universe through wishful thinking. You're aligning your internal state with your desired outcome, creating coherence between your conscious intentions and your subconscious programming, between your heart's desires and your brain's neural networks. Tonight, let yourself fully inhabit the reality you're creating. Feel yourself already living there. Experience the joy, the peace, the fulfillment, the love that characterizes this new way of being. Let these feelings fill every cell of your body, every atom of your being, every quantum of your existence. Transformation is not just a psychological process, it's a biological one. When you change your thoughts and emotions, you literally change your gene expression, your protein production, your hormone levels, and your immune system function. Your body becomes the physical manifestation of your inner transformation. Every thought you think produces a cascade of neurochemical reactions. When you think thoughts of limitation, fear, or scarcity, your brain produces stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals prepare your body for emergency action. But when they're chronically present, they suppress your immune system, decrease your cognitive function, and accelerate aging. But when you think thoughts of possibility, love, and gratitude, your brain produces completely different chemicals: oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. These are the molecules of joy, connection, and healing. They strengthen your immune system, improve your memory, and actually slow down the aging process at the cellular level. This is why people who practice gratitude and meditation consistently look younger and live longer than those who don't. They're literally creating a different chemical environment in their bodies, one that supports vitality and regeneration rather than stress and degeneration. Your genes are constantly receiving and responding to chemical signals from your thoughts and emotions. Through the process of epigenetic regulation, your lifestyle and mental patterns determine which genes are active and which remain dormant. You're literally rewriting your genetic destiny every moment through the quality of your consciousness. When you maintain coherent states, when your heart and brain are synchronized, when you feel emotions of elevation rather than emotions of survival, you create an optimal environment for genetic expression. Genes that promote health, creativity, and longevity are upregulated, while genes associated with disease and aging are downregulated. This biological transformation happens most rapidly during sleep, when your conscious mind steps aside and allows your subconscious programming to direct cellular repair and regeneration. Tonight, as you drift into sleep while maintaining these elevated emotions and coherent states, you're optimizing this natural healing process. Your nervous system is also undergoing transformation. New neural pathways are being created to support your new ways of thinking and feeling. Old patterns that no longer serve you are being pruned away through a process called synaptic plasticity. Your brain is literally rewiring itself to match your new identity. Even your DNA is changing. Recent research in epigenetics has shown that our emotional states can influence the expression of our genes, and that these changes can sometimes be passed on to future generations. When you transform yourself, you're not just changing your own life, you're potentially influencing the genetic inheritance you pass on to your descendants. Your cells are regenerating constantly. In fact, you create a completely new body every 7 years through this process of cellular renewal. But most people recreate the same body by maintaining the same thoughts, the same emotions, and the same beliefs. They program their new cells with the same information as their old cells. Tonight, you're breaking this cycle. You're giving your cells new information, new instructions, new blueprints for health, vitality, and expanded possibilities. As your cells regenerate over the coming weeks and months, they'll carry this new programming, creating a body that matches your transformed consciousness. This is the true science of transformation, not just changing your mind, but changing your entire biological expression to align with your highest potential. You're becoming a new person not just psychologically, but literally, at the cellular and genetic level. You inherited more than just your eye color and height from your ancestors. You also inherited their survival patterns, their emotional reactions, their limiting beliefs, and their ways of perceiving the world. These inherited programs run automatically in your subconscious mind, influencing your choices and creating your experiences without your conscious awareness. But here's the revolutionary truth that my research in epigenetics has revealed. You are not a victim of your genetic inheritance. Your genes are not your destiny. They are simply biological potentials that can be turned on or off depending on the signals they receive from your environment. And the most immediate environment of your genes is your own consciousness. Your ancestors survived famines, wars, plagues, and countless other challenges by developing highly sensitive threat detection systems. These survival programs were essential for their survival, but they may not be appropriate for your current life circumstances. When you're constantly scanning for danger, when you're perpetually preparing for the worst-case scenario, you're living in a state of chronic stress that suppresses your immune system and limits your creative potential. Many of the limitations you believe are just the way you are actually inherited programs running in your subconscious mind. The tendency toward anxiety, depression, or pessimism may have served your ancestors in dangerous environments, but it may be sabotaging your ability to thrive in your current life. Tonight, you have the power to consciously override these inherited programs. When you change your internal state, when you choose thoughts and emotions that your ancestors never experienced, you literally change the expression of your genes. You can turn off the genes associated with limitation and turn on the genes associated with possibility. This process of genetic reprogramming happens through what scientists call environmental signaling. Your thoughts create emotional states, which produce chemical signals that influence gene expression. When you consistently generate elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, and love, you create an environment that supports the expression of your highest genetic potential. You can honor your ancestors while refusing to be limited by their programming. You can appreciate the strength and resilience they passed down to you, while choosing not to perpetuate their fears and limitations. You can break generational patterns that have been running in your family for centuries. This is not just healing for you, it's healing for your entire lineage. When you transform yourself, you actually change the morphic field of your family system. You create new possibilities not just for your own children and grandchildren, but you also send healing energy backward through time to your ancestors. Many indigenous traditions understand this concept of ancestral healing. They recognize that when one person in a lineage awakens to their full potential, it creates a ripple effect that influences the entire family system across time and space. You become the ancestor your lineage has been waiting for. The genetic programs you inherited were designed to help you survive, but you are here to do more than survive. You are here to thrive, to create, to express your unique gifts, to contribute to the evolution of human consciousness. This requires moving beyond survival programming into creation programming. As you rest here tonight, feel yourself breaking free from the invisible chains of genetic limitation. Feel yourself stepping into the fullness of your potential, unencumbered by the fears and limitations of previous generations. You are not bound by your history. You are free to create a new future, not just for yourself, but for all who come after you. In the deepest levels of reality, beyond the world of separate objects and individual identities, exists what quantum physicists call the unified field, an invisible ocean of energy and information from which all manifest reality emerges. This field contains every possibility that has ever existed or ever could exist. It is the womb of creation, the source of all innovation, the wellspring of infinite potential. You are not separate from this field. You are a localized expression of it, a unique focal point through which the infinite explores itself in human form. Every atom in your body is continuously arising from and dissolving back into this field. Every thought in your mind is a temporary pattern in this ocean of consciousness. Every possibility you can imagine already exists as a quantum potential waiting to be actualized. The field responds to consciousness. It recognizes the quality of your attention, the coherence of your heart, the clarity of your intention. When you align your individual awareness with the intelligence of the field, you gain access to solutions, insights, and opportunities that your personal mind could never create through effort alone. This is how true creativity works. It's not the individual ego struggling to produce something new. It's consciousness opening to receive what already exists in potential form. The greatest artists, inventors, and visionaries throughout history have described this process, the sense of being a channel through which something greater expresses itself. Tonight, as your individual boundaries dissolve and your awareness expands, you're opening to receive from this field. You're not trying to force or manipulate or control. You're simply creating space for new possibilities to emerge, new insights to download, new realities to crystallize from the quantum foam of pure potential. The field is intelligent. It knows what you need before you ask for it. It sees the bigger picture of your life's unfolding, the lessons you're here to learn, the gifts you're here to share, the contribution you're here to make. When you align with this intelligence, your life begins to flow with a grace and synchronicity that the planning mind could never orchestrate. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up your personal will. It means aligning your personal will with universal will, harmonizing your individual desires with the greater intelligence that's orchestrating the evolution of consciousness itself. It means becoming a conscious collaborator in the creative process, rather than trying to be the sole creator. When you trust the field, when you surrender your need to control every detail of how your transformation unfolds, you open yourself to receive gifts you never could have imagined. The field has access to infinite resources, infinite connections, infinite possibilities. It can orchestrate synchronicities that bring exactly the right people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life at exactly the right time. This is the paradox of manifestation. The more you release your attachment to specific outcomes, the more powerfully you can create. The more you trust the intelligence of the field, the more directly it can work through you. The more you let go of the need to figure everything out with your rational mind, the more clearly you can receive intuitive guidance from the unified intelligence. As you rest in this field tonight, feel yourself being held by an intelligence that is vast beyond comprehension, yet intimately concerned with your well-being. Feel yourself being guided by a wisdom that has orchestrated the birth of stars and the evolution of galaxies, yet knows every detail of your personal journey. Feel yourself being loved by a consciousness that is both the creative force of the universe and the innermost essence of your own being. You are not alone in your transformation. You are supported by the entire universe, guided by infinite intelligence, and surrounded by a field of pure potential that is always conspiring in your favor. Your job is not to make everything happen by yourself. Your job is to align with what wants to happen through you, to become a clear channel for the creative intelligence of the cosmos. Your brain is the most complex structure in the known universe, containing approximately 86 billion neurons connected by trillions of synapses. These connections form neural networks, patterns of communication that create your habits, your personality, your automatic responses, and your perception of reality itself. Every experience you've ever had, every thought you've ever thought, every emotion you've ever felt, has carved pathways in your brain. These pathways become superhighways of familiar thinking, feeling, and behaving. The more you use them, the stronger they become. This is why changing habits can feel so difficult. You're literally working against well-established neural patterns. But here's the miracle of neuroplasticity. Your brain can change at any age. Every time you think a new thought, learn a new skill, or have a new experience, you create new neural connections. Every time you choose a different response than your habitual one, you weaken old patterns and strengthen new ones. Tonight, as you rest in this receptive state between waking and sleeping, your brain is in the optimal condition for rewiring. Your brainwaves have slowed into alpha and theta frequencies, states associated with heightened neuroplasticity. Your analytical mind has relaxed its grip on familiar patterns, creating space for new connections to form. The thoughts you're thinking right now, the emotions you're feeling, the possibilities you're imagining, are literally creating new neural pathways. Each time you choose to focus on potential rather than problems, on possibilities rather than limitations, on love rather than fear, you're strengthening networks that support your transformation. This process of neural rewiring is accelerated by emotional intensity. When you combine new thoughts with elevated emotions, you create stronger neural connections that are more likely to become automatic patterns. This is why it's so important to feel genuine excitement, gratitude, and joy as you imagine your new reality. These emotions provide the biochemical signals that consolidate new learning. Your mirror neurons are also playing a crucial role in this transformation. These specialized cells fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing the same action. As you imagine yourself living your desired reality, your mirror neurons are firing as if you're actually experiencing it, creating neural patterns that support this new way of being. The default mode network, the neural network that's active when your mind is at rest, is also being restructured. Instead of defaulting to worry, rumination, or self-doubt, your brain is beginning to default to states of possibility, gratitude, and creative potential. This change in your default mental state will influence every aspect of your waking experience. Your prefrontal cortex, the brain region associated with planning, decision-making, and impulse control, is also being strengthened. As you practice choosing elevated thoughts and emotions despite your current circumstances, you're building what neuroscientists call cognitive flexibility, the ability to adapt your thinking and behavior to new situations. The insula, the brain region that integrates sensory information with emotional awareness, is developing greater coherence. This enhanced interoceptive awareness allows you to sense the subtle changes happening in your body and energy field as your transformation unfolds. Even your hippocampus, the brain region associated with memory formation, is being influenced by this process. New positive memories are being encoded not from external experiences, but from the internal experience of imagining and feeling your desired reality. These future memories will serve as neural templates that guide your behavior toward actualizing what you've imagined. This neural rewiring doesn't happen only during this meditation. It continues as you sleep. During REM sleep, your brain consolidates new learning, strengthening the neural connections you've formed and integrating them with existing knowledge. You're literally dreaming yourself into a new way of being. Your heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in your body, an energy field that extends 8 to 10 feet beyond your physical form. This field is not static, it's dynamic, constantly changing based on your emotional state, your thoughts, and your level of heart-brain coherence. When you're in states of appreciation, compassion, care, or love, your heart's rhythm becomes more coherent, creating a smooth sine wave pattern that synchronizes with your breathing and influences your entire physiology. This coherent heart rhythm generates a powerful electromagnetic field that not only affects every cell in your body, but also influences the people and environment around you. The HeartMath Institute's research has shown that this heart field carries information, emotional information that can be detected by the nervous systems of people nearby. When you're in a coherent state, you literally become a source of harmonizing energy for others. Your presence becomes healing, calming, and uplifting without you having to say or do anything. But the heart's electromagnetic field doesn't just influence other people, it influences the quantum field itself. At the subatomic level, all matter is interconnected through invisible fields of energy and information. Your heart's electromagnetic signature is constantly broadcasting to this field, sending out signals that attract experiences matching your internal state. This is the scientific basis for what many traditions have called the law of attraction. It's not a mystical concept, it's electromagnetic physics. When your heart is generating coherent frequencies of love, gratitude, and appreciation, you become a magnet for experiences that resonate with these frequencies. The heart contains over 40,000 neurons, more neurons than are found in many subcortical brain regions. This heart brain can learn, remember, and make decisions independently of the brain in your head. It's constantly sending signals to your cranial brain, influencing your perceptions, your emotional responses, and your capacity for intuitive knowing. When your heart and brain are in coherence, you experience what researchers call intuitive intelligence, the ability to access information that's not available through logical analysis alone. You begin to know things before they happen, sense opportunities before they're obvious, and feel drawn toward choices that support your highest good. This heart-brain coherence also optimizes your autonomic nervous system, creating a state of balance between your sympathetic and parasympathetic branches. In this balanced state, your body's natural healing and regenerative processes are enhanced. Your immune system functions more effectively. Your cognitive performance improves. Your emotional stability increases. As you rest here now, feeling your heart settling into this coherent rhythm, you're literally changing the electromagnetic environment of every cell in your body. You're also broadcasting a signal to the quantum field that says, I am grateful, I am at peace, I am open to receive the highest possibilities for my life. This heart-centered state is what indigenous traditions have always recognized as the seat of wisdom and the gateway to spiritual insight. It's not the analytical mind that connects you to higher guidance. It's the intelligent heart, operating in coherence with the brain. Your heart's electromagnetic field is also in training with the Earth's electromagnetic field, known as the Schumann resonance. When you're in heart coherence, you're literally synchronizing with the planet's energetic frequency, creating a sense of grounding, connection, and harmony with the natural world. This coherence can be maintained even as you drift into sleep. Your heart will continue broadcasting this harmonious signal throughout the night, influencing your dreams, your cellular regeneration, and your energetic preparation for tomorrow's experiences. In quantum physics, entanglement describes a phenomenon where two particles become connected in such a way that measuring one instantly affects the other, regardless of the distance separating them. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, but modern quantum mechanics has proven it to be a fundamental feature of reality. What most people don't realize is that consciousness itself demonstrates quantum properties, and this includes the ability to become entangled with future possibilities. When you focus your attention on a desired outcome with emotional intensity, when you feel the feelings of your wish fulfilled, you create what could be called temporal entanglement, a connection between your present consciousness and a future reality. This isn't science fiction. It's the logical extension of quantum mechanics to human consciousness. Your future self already exists as a quantum possibility in the field of potential. When you align your current emotional state with the emotional state of that future self, you collapse the wave function and begin drawing that possibility into manifest experience. Time, as Einstein showed us, is not linear. Past, present, and future exist simultaneously in what physicists call the eternal now. From this perspective, your future self is as real as your present self. It's simply existing in a different temporal coordinate. When you connect with this future self through visualization and elevated emotion, you're literally receiving information and energy from your own future. This is why people who practice consistent visualization often report receiving insights, opportunities, and synchronicities that seem to come from nowhere. They're actually coming from their future self, which exists in a timeline where their desired reality has already manifested. By maintaining coherence with this future version of themselves, they create a temporal bridge that allows information and opportunities to flow backward through time. The key to creating this quantum entanglement with your future is emotional coherence. You must feel now the way you would feel then. You must generate in this moment the emotional signature that characterizes the future reality you want to experience. This emotional alignment creates the quantum connection that allows future possibilities to influence present circumstances. As you rest here tonight, imagine your future self, the version of you that has already manifested everything you desire. See this future self clearly. Feel their emotional state, their confidence, their peace, their joy. Notice how they carry themselves, how they think, how they respond to life's challenges and opportunities. Now allow yourself to merge with this future self. Feel their emotions as your emotions. Experience their confidence as your confidence. Embody their way of being as your way of being. This is not fantasy. This is quantum mechanics applied to consciousness. You're literally downloading the emotional and energetic signature of your future reality into your present experience. This future self is not separate from you. It is you, existing in a timeline where you've made different choices, developed different habits, and aligned with different possibilities. By connecting with this aspect of yourself, you're accessing wisdom, strength, and resources that are already yours but exist in potential form. The more consistently you practice this temporal entanglement, the more rapidly your external reality begins to reflect your internal transformation. You start making choices that your future self would make. You begin attracting opportunities that align with your future timeline. You develop the confidence and certainty that come from knowing your desired reality is not just possible, it's inevitable. This is how transformation accelerates beyond the normal pace of linear time. You're not just changing yourself one day at a time. You're reaching into your future and pulling that reality into your present through the power of quantum entanglement. Your subconscious mind is like a vast garden that grows whatever seeds are planted there, without judgment about whether those seeds will produce flowers or weeds. For most of your life, this garden has been receiving seeds from external sources: your family, your culture, your experiences, your environment. Many of these seeds have grown into limiting beliefs, automatic reactions, and patterns that no longer serve your highest good. But tonight, you have the opportunity to become the conscious gardener of your own mind. You can choose which seeds to plant, which thoughts to nurture, which beliefs to cultivate. Your subconscious doesn't discriminate. It will grow whatever you plant there with sufficient emotional intensity and repetition. The subconscious mind operates primarily through images, emotions, and symbols, rather than logical thoughts. This is why visualization is so powerful. You're speaking the native language of your subconscious. When you create vivid mental images combined with strong emotions, you're planting seeds directly into the fertile soil of your unconscious mind. These seeds will continue growing even while you sleep. Your subconscious never rests. It's constantly working to align your outer reality with your inner programming. If you've been unconsciously planting seeds of limitation, fear, or scarcity, your subconscious has been faithfully working to create experiences that confirm these beliefs. But when you consciously plant seeds of possibility, abundance, love, and growth, your subconscious begins working to create experiences that match this new programming. It starts filtering information differently, noticing opportunities you might have missed before, and guiding you toward choices that support your new beliefs about what's possible. The subconscious communicates through symbols, metaphors, and patterns. It thinks in terms of wholeness rather than parts, relationships rather than separate objects, feeling tones rather than logical categories. This is why the language we're using tonight, rich with imagery, emotion, and sensory detail, is so effective at reaching and reprogramming your subconscious patterns. Your subconscious also operates in the eternal present. It doesn't distinguish between past, present, and future the way your conscious mind does. When you imagine a desired reality with emotional intensity, your subconscious experiences it as happening now. This is why you can literally feel different after a powerful visualization session. Your subconscious has updated its programming based on the new information you've provided. The subconscious is also highly responsive to repetition. Neural pathways are strengthened each time they're used, and weakened when they're not activated. By consistently returning to elevated thoughts and emotions, by repeatedly feeling the feelings of your desired reality, You're strengthening the neural networks that support your transformation, while allowing old limiting patterns to atrophy through disuse. As you drift deeper into this receptive state, your conscious mind's analytical functions are naturally relaxing, creating greater access to your subconscious programming. The seeds you plant tonight will have less resistance from your logical mind, and can take root more easily in the fertile ground of your unconscious awareness. Think of this time as sacred gardening. You're not just relaxing or entertaining yourself with pleasant thoughts. You're actively cultivating the internal conditions that will give birth to new external experiences. You're preparing the soil of your consciousness to support the growth of new possibilities. The garden of your subconscious is incredibly fertile. Whatever you plant there with emotional intensity and repetitive focus will grow. This is both the challenge and the opportunity of human consciousness. You're always planting seeds, whether you're aware of it or not. Tonight, you're choosing to plant seeds consciously, deliberately, with full awareness of the garden you want to create. Coherence is more than just a pleasant feeling. It's a measurable physiological state where your heart rhythm, brain waves, and nervous system are operating in harmonious synchronization. When you achieve coherence, your entire being becomes aligned with a single purpose, a unified intention, a clear energetic signature that broadcasts to the quantum field around you. In coherent states, your heart rate variability creates smooth sine wave patterns, rather than the erratic, chaotic patterns associated with stress and emotional turbulence. Your brain produces alpha and theta waves associated with creativity, insight, and expanded awareness. Your autonomic nervous system achieves optimal balance between activation and relaxation. This physiological coherence creates the ideal internal environment for transformation. Your cells receive clear, consistent signals about your new identity. Your genes respond to this coherent environment by expressing proteins that support health, growth, and vitality. Your immune system functions more effectively. Your cognitive abilities enhance. Your intuitive capacities expand. But coherence is more than just individual harmony. It's also relational. When you're in a coherent state, your electromagnetic field becomes more organized and powerful. This organized field has a harmonizing effect on the people and environment around you. You literally become a source of coherence for others, helping them entrain to more harmonious states. The key to maintaining coherence is learning to self-regulate your emotional state regardless of external circumstances. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending everything is perfect. It means developing the capacity to choose your emotional response, to find the feeling tone that serves your highest good and the good of all those around you. Coherence is sustained through what HeartMath researchers call heart-focused breathing, consciously directing your attention to your heart while breathing slowly and rhythmically. As you practice this technique, you're literally training your nervous system to maintain coherent states even in challenging situations. In coherent states, you also gain access to what scientists call emergent properties, capabilities that arise from the synchronized interaction of multiple systems working together. Just as individual musicians can create symphonic beauty that none could produce alone, your coherent heart, brain, and nervous system can access wisdom and creative potential that transcends your ordinary capabilities. This is the state from which genuine inspiration arises, where breakthrough insights emerge, where innovative solutions suddenly become obvious. You're not trying to figure everything out with your analytical mind. You're allowing the integrated intelligence of your entire being to guide you toward optimal choices and actions. Coherence also makes you more sensitive to the subtle information fields that surround you. You begin to sense the emotional states of others more clearly. You become aware of the energetic quality of different environments. You develop what could be called field sensitivity, the ability to perceive and respond to information that's not available through your five senses alone. As you rest in this coherent state tonight, you're not just feeling good, you're optimizing every system in your body for maximum health, creativity, and transformation. You're becoming a more effective transmitter and receiver of the subtle energies that orchestrate synchronicity and manifestation. This coherence will continue even as you sleep. Your heart will maintain its rhythmic harmony. Your brain will continue producing the frequencies associated with learning and integration. Your entire being will remain tuned to the frequency of your desired reality. drawing experiences that match this internal coherence. Your beliefs are not just mental concepts. They are biological realities that directly influence the behavior of every cell in your body. When you truly believe something is possible for you, when this belief is embodied at the cellular level, rather than existing only as an intellectual idea, your entire physiology reorganizes itself to support that belief. The placebo effect demonstrates this principle dramatically. When patients believe they're receiving powerful medicine, their bodies often heal as if they actually received that medicine, even when they've only been given sugar pills. Their belief literally triggers the production of healing chemicals, activates their immune system, and initiates repair processes that create real, measurable improvements in their health. But the placebo effect is just one example of how belief influences biology. Every belief you hold creates a corresponding biological state. When you believe you're safe, your nervous system relaxes and your body focuses on growth and repair. When you believe you're in danger, your nervous system activates and your body shifts into survival mode. Even if there's no actual threat present, your beliefs about yourself, about what you're capable of, what you deserve, what's possible for your life, are constantly being translated into biological signals that influence your gene expression, your hormone production, and your immune system function. If you believe you're destined for limitation, your body will produce the chemistry of limitation. If you believe you're capable of extraordinary things, your body will produce the chemistry of possibility. This is why changing your beliefs is not just a mental exercise, it's a biological transformation. When you shift from believing in limitation to believing in possibility, from believing in scarcity to believing in abundance, from believing in separation to believing in connection, you literally change the chemical environment of every cell in your body. The key is making this shift at the level of embodied knowing rather than intellectual understanding. Your body has to believe it, not just your mind. This happens when you consistently generate the emotions associated with your new beliefs, when you feel in your body what it would be like if these beliefs were already your lived reality. As you rest here tonight, generating feelings of gratitude, possibility, and love, you're literally changing your biological expression of belief. Your cells are receiving new information about who you are and what's possible for you. Your genes are responding to this new environment by expressing different proteins, creating different neural connections, and producing different neurotransmitters. This biological shift in belief creates what scientists call a new set point, a different baseline state of being that your body now recognizes as normal. Instead of defaulting to anxiety, doubt, or limitation, your body begins to default to states of calm confidence, creative possibility, and loving connection. The beautiful thing about this process is that once your body embodies a new belief, maintaining that belief becomes effortless. You don't have to convince yourself intellectually that transformation is possible. You can feel it in every cell of your being. Your body becomes the evidence for your new beliefs rather than the obstacle to them. This embodied transformation in belief is what distinguishes genuine change from temporary positive thinking. When your beliefs change at the biological level, your entire life begins to reorganize itself around these new foundational assumptions. You start making different choices, attracting different opportunities, and creating different experiences, not through effort or struggle, but as the natural expression of your new biological reality. Your immune system strengthens because you believe in your body's capacity for health. Your creative abilities expand because you believe in your potential for innovation. Your relationships improve because you believe in your worthiness for love and connection. Your entire reality transforms because your body is now broadcasting the electromagnetic signature of your new beliefs. True transformation requires a delicate balance between conscious intention and unconscious integration. You've planted the seeds of change through your focused attention and elevated emotions, but now comes perhaps the most challenging part of the process: learning to surrender, to trust, to allow the transformation to unfold in its own perfect timing. The mind that got you to this point of seeking change is not the same mind that will carry you through the transformation. The ego mind wants to control, to force, to make things happen according to its timeline and specifications. But genuine transformation happens in the space beyond the ego's control, in the realm of natural unfolding, organic growth, and divine timing. This surrender is not passive resignation or giving up your power. It's an active trust in the intelligence of the process, a conscious choice to align with the natural rhythms of growth and change. Just as a seed knows how to become a tree without the tree forcing the process, your transformation knows how to unfold without your personality micromanaging every detail. The integration of your new programming happens primarily at the subconscious level, below the threshold of your ordinary awareness. Your conscious mind's job is to maintain the intention, to return to elevated emotions when you notice yourself slipping into old patterns, and to make choices that align with your new identity. But the deep restructuring of your neural networks, the shifting of your genetic expression, the reorganization of your energy field, these happen automatically when you create the right internal conditions. This is why trying too hard can actually interfere with transformation. When you grip too tightly to your desired outcome, when you monitor every moment for signs of change, when you become anxious about whether the process is working, you create resistance that slows down the natural flow of transformation. Instead, learn to hold your vision lightly with what Zen masters call passionate detachment. Care deeply about your transformation, but don't be attached to controlling how or when it happens. Plant the seeds with love and attention, then trust the soil of consciousness to nurture them into full bloom. This surrender also means releasing your attachment to your old identity, even the parts that feel familiar and safe. Your ego may resist this letting go because it's wired for survival. And from the ego's perspective, change feels dangerous. Be gentle with this resistance. Honor the part of you that wants to stay the same, while choosing to move forward anyway. The integration process often happens in waves rather than linear progression. You may have moments of profound clarity and connection followed by periods that feel ordinary or even challenging. This is normal and natural. Transformation is not a constant high. It's a gradual rewiring of your entire system. And this rewiring sometimes requires rest, integration, and apparent setbacks that are actually part of the healing process. Trust the intelligence that's orchestrating your transformation. This intelligence has grown your body from a single cell, has orchestrated the complex dance of atoms and molecules that maintain your life every moment, has guided the evolution of consciousness for billions of years. This same intelligence is now supporting your personal evolution, and it knows exactly what it's doing. Your job is to show up consistently, to return to elevated states when you remember to do so, and to make choices from your new identity rather than your old conditioning. The rest will unfold naturally, in perfect timing, in ways that may surprise and delight you beyond anything your personality could have planned. As our journey together tonight approaches its completion, we're going to seal these new patterns into your consciousness through a process of energetic crystallization. Just as water becomes ice when it reaches the right temperature and pressure, your new reality becomes fixed when it reaches the right frequency and emotional intensity. This sealing process happens through what quantum physicists call state vector reduction, the moment when a quantum possibility collapses into a definite reality. Up until this point, your new identity has existed in a state of superposition, existing as potential alongside your old patterns. Now, through conscious choice and emotional commitment, you're selecting which reality to make manifest. Feel yourself now making a definitive choice, not just hoping for change, not just wanting transformation, but choosing it with every fiber of your being. This choice is not made with effort or force, but with the quiet certainty that comes from alignment with your deepest truth. You're not trying to become someone different. You're choosing to embody who you've always been beneath all the conditioning. This sealing involves all levels of your being: mental, emotional, physical, and energetic. Your thoughts are aligning with your new identity. Your emotions are generating the feelings of your new reality. Your body is producing the chemistry that matches your transformed state. Your energy field is broadcasting the frequency of your chosen timeline. Imagine now that you're standing in a crystalline chamber of light, where every cell in your body is being restructured to match your new reality. See this light penetrating every atom of your being, rewriting your genetic code, reorganizing your neural networks, harmonizing your energy field with the frequency of your desires fulfilled. This is not imagination. This is conscious participation in the quantum process of reality creation. You're literally programming your subconscious mind, which will continue this work throughout the night and in the days to come. Your unconscious mind is now your ally in transformation, rather than a repository of old limitations. Feel the completion of this process, the moment when your new reality clicks into place like the last piece of a cosmic puzzle. There's a sense of coming home, of remembering who you really are, of aligning with your true purpose and potential. This is not a future possibility. This is your present reality, sealed and crystallized into your being. As you breathe slowly and deeply, feel this new reality integrating into every aspect of your existence. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you may not consciously remember all the details of this journey, but your body, your cells, your subconscious mind will remember. They will carry the template of your transformation, guiding you toward choices and experiences that align with your new identity. This sealing creates what mystics have called an initiation, a definitive shift from one level of being to another. You're not the same person who began this journey tonight. Something fundamental has changed at the deepest levels of your consciousness, and this change will continue to unfold and express itself in increasingly beautiful ways. The seal is complete. Your new reality is locked in. Your transformation is assured, not because of anything you need to do or achieve, but because of who you have chosen to become in this moment, in this sacred space between sleeping and waking, between who you were and who you are becoming. As we reach the completion of this profound journey together, you rest now in a state of pure potential, having rewired your neural networks, reprogrammed your genetic expression, and aligned your electromagnetic field with the reality you've chosen to experience. The work is done. The transformation is complete. All that remains is the gentle unfolding of what you've set in motion tonight. Your new self is not something you need to create. It already exists, fully formed, in the quantum field of possibilities. Tonight, you've simply chosen to align with this version of yourself, to embody its frequency, to live from its perspective. This new self is more authentic than your old identity, because it's based on possibility rather than limitation, on love rather than fear, on connection rather than separation. As you drift now towards sleep, or perhaps as you choose to remain awake but deeply relaxed, know that every cell in your body is integrating these new patterns. Your subconscious mind is downloading the blueprint of your transformation, storing it in the deepest levels of your being where it will guide your thoughts, emotions, and actions in the days to come. You don't need to remember every word from tonight's journey. You don't need to consciously monitor the changes that are now unfolding within you. Trust that the intelligence of your being knows exactly how to implement these new patterns, how to translate this internal transformation into external experiences, how to attract and create the life that matches your elevated state of consciousness. When you wake up, whether that's in a few hours or after a full night's sleep, you may feel different in subtle ways. You may notice thoughts that seem to come from a wiser, more confident version of yourself. You may find yourself making choices that surprise you with their clarity and courage. You may attract synchronicities and opportunities that seem to confirm the reality you've chosen tonight. Or the changes may be so gradual and natural that you hardly notice them at first. Your transformation may unfold like the changing of the seasons, slowly, organically, beautifully, but with inevitable movement toward the fulfillment of your deepest potential. Both dramatic shifts and gentle evolution are perfect expressions of the transformation process. What matters is not the speed of change, but the authenticity of your alignment with your true self. You've remembered tonight who you really are beneath all the stories, all the conditioning, all the limiting beliefs that once seemed so real. You've connected with the part of yourself that has never been broken, never been limited, never been separate from the creative intelligence of the universe. This is your true identity, not the small self that worries and struggles and doubts, but the expanded self that creates and loves and knows its connection to all of existence. This self is not separate from the divine intelligence that moves the stars and grows the flowers. This self is an individualized expression of that same creative force, temporarily focused through the lens of human experience. As you rest now in this knowing, feel the deep peace that comes from alignment with your authentic nature. Feel the profound love that is your birthright as a conscious being. Feel the infinite possibilities that are always available to you when you remember who you really are. The dawn of your new self is not a future event. It's happening now, in this moment, as you choose to embody the truth of your unlimited potential. You are not becoming someone new. You are remembering who you've always been. You are not creating a different reality. You are choosing to experience the reality that most authentically expresses your divine nature. Sleep now, if sleep calls you, knowing that your dreams will be filled with visions of your new reality. Rest now in the certainty that your transformation is complete, that your new life is already unfolding, that you are exactly who you came here to be. The seeds have been planted. The program has been installed. The reality has been chosen. All is well, all is perfect, all is as it should be. Welcome to your new life. Welcome home to yourself.